My name is Dustin Rolston. I'm going to be doing a reflection on the video of science of body language. So the first part that I want to talk about is the handshake. When you first meet somebody, a handshake is extremely important. Too strong kind of shows dominance. Too close, again, shows dominance. Too soft shows a sign of weakness. Another part of the video that I found pretty interesting was body language and how body language affects first impressions, confidence, non-confidence, things like keeping your arms open. Keeping your arms open shows a sign of vulnerability. You're open to contact, communication. Being closed off shows defensive posture, like you don't want anybody to, you're not welcoming. I also found it pretty interesting in regards to the Kennedy and Nixon, where Kennedy's appearance, his body language, how he was sitting, his facial expressions overcompensated for what exactly he was saying. They compared it to the voters' polls where Nixon scored higher strictly off of what he said, but Kennedy scored higher because of what his appearance perceived, how he was sitting, everything from his facial gestures to his smile to his dress. That seemed to overweigh. It's kind of interesting how body language alone can make up for what you're saying or compensate for the words you're saying. Interesting about how unconfident you can appear. Things like self-touch, where they showed again with Nixon during the Watergate scandal. It's almost like you're reassuring yourself that you are confident even when you're not. I found that pretty interesting because I know I tend to do a lot of personal hand gestures or reassurance certain situations where I may not be as confident. I also found that building rapport was pretty important as well. It allows you to connect with the person you're trying to talk to. So if you're closed off or not really paying attention, it kind of puts up a wall and a barrier. The rapport is not built. Even small things like gesturing on pace with what they're saying, staying in contact with what they're saying builds that rapport. Like you are listening, you are paying attention. I found that pretty interesting in the video as well, that they showed simple things as sticking on pace, nodding your head to the words they're saying, and how even the slightest looking away or hand gesture that isn't in line with everything else within your body kind of shows a lack of integrity. When you look away, or you're nodding your head but saying something wrong, or shaking your head and saying something right, it's not allowing the person to connect with what you're saying, because your gestures aren't in line with the actual words that are coming out of your mouth. Another thing I found interesting is how males perceive females' voices. In the existence of, or example of Margaret Thatcher, the higher her voice was at the very beginning, it showed innocence and that she was a little bit more vulnerable. But when she got to become prime minister, her voice deepened a bit. She became a little bit more dominant and confident. And small things like that, even the tone of your voice, can make a huge impact about how your words are perceived. The video pretty interesting, and definitely makes you wonder and think about your own body language, your own gestures, your facial expressions, your tone of voice, the pace of what you're saying in the future, because it does all matter. It does matter how you perceive yourself and how you are perceived by others. So thank you.